Good morning, first grade. How is everyone doing today? I hope everyone's having a good day so far. All right, I am excited. We are going to read a new text today. We're going to read, What Do You Do with a Tail Like This? And before we do that, let's just think for a moment about some of the other animals that we've learned about and what we've learned about some of their features. So even thinking back to some of the fables that we've read, right? We've learned some things about grasshoppers and a hare and a tortoise. We've learned about the elephant, and certainly we've learned quite a bit of information about the seahorses. So I just want you to think about all of those animals and the features that we've learned so far, and kind of keep that in mind as we're reading this text, and think about the additional things that we learned from this text. All right, our big pizza question, our whole pizza question. What can we discover about animals' unique features? So like we just said, we've learned about, several different animals up until this point, and we're still working on answering that question. And as I mentioned, we're going to learn a lot more after reading this text. Our slice of pizza question, how do animals use the same feature in unique ways? So we'll be spending the next several days answering this question using this text. And specifically today, we want to focus on what do I notice and wonder about what do you do with a tail like this? So if you want to pause the video for just a moment and grab your copy of the text, that would be great. I will share it on the screen as I read it out loud, but if you wanted to follow along. And also, when you are sharing your notice and wonder, it probably will be helpful to have a copy of the book that you can look through as you're thinking of your question and what you notice. All right, so I just wanted to share the cover with you. And if you take a look at it, do you notice anything about the front cover? I see a couple of things. Yeah, I noticed that this is another Caldecott Medal winner. Books that are given this award for their illustrations, for outstanding illustrations. And we've read a few books in this module that have won the Caldecott. I also noticed the way that the text is written is interesting. It's curling around with the tail. So as we're reading the text, as we're reading the book in just a moment, see if you notice anything else about how the text is written. And just be thinking about what are some things you notice and what are some things you wonder, of course, using our Wonder Wheel questions, who, what, where, why, when, and how, if, as you're thinking and as you're listening. All right, so here is, what do you do with a tail like this? And this is written by Steve Jenkins and Robin Page. Animals use their noses, ears, tails, eyes, mouths, and feet in very different ways. See if you can guess which animal each part belongs to and how it is used. At the back of the book, you can find out more about these animals. What do you do with a nose like this? Do you recognize any of those animals? Okay, let's learn some more. If you're a platypus, you use your nose to dig in the mud. If you're a hyena, you find your next meal with your nose. If you're an elephant, you use your nose to give yourself a bath. If you're a mole, you use your nose to find your way underground. If you're an alligator, you breathe through your nose while hiding in the water. What do you do with ears like these? If you're a jackrabbit, you use your ears to keep cool. If you're a bat, you see with your ears. If you're a hippopotamus, you close your ears when you're underwater. If you're a cricket, you hear with ears that are on your knees. If you're a humpback whale, you hear sounds hundreds of miles away. What do you do with a tail like this? If you're a giraffe, you brush off pesky flies with your tail. If you're a skunk, you lift your tail to warn that a stinky spray is on the way. If you're a lizard, you break off your tail to get away. If you're a scorpion, your tail can give a nasty sting. If you're a monkey, you hang from a tree by your tail. What do you do with eyes like these? If you're an eagle, you spot tiny animals from high in the air. If you're a chameleon, you look two ways at once. If you're a four-eyed fish, you look above and below the water at the same time. If you're a bush baby, you use your large eyes to see clearly at night. If you're a horned lizard, you squirt blood out of your eyes. Wow, that's pretty interesting. What do you do with feet like these? If you're a chimpanzee, you feed yourself with your feet. If you're a blue-footed booby, you do a dance. If you're a water strider, you walk on water. If you're a gecko, you use your sticky feet to walk on the ceiling. If you're a mountain goat, you leap from ledge to ledge. What do you do with a mouth like this? If you're a pelican, you use your mouth as a net to scoop up fish. If you're an egg-eating snake, you use your mouth to swallow eggs larger than your head. If you're a mosquito, you use your mouth to suck blood. If you're an anteater, you capture termites with your long tongue. If you're an archer fish, you catch insects by shooting them down with a stream of water. All right, and there's some additional information here that we will come back to a little bit later, but that was the main part of the text. I hope you found it interesting, and I hope you found something that you thought was, something new that you learned and something interesting, and we'll spend a lot of time talking about these different features. So now, if you could please, just show you one moment. Okay, so now it is time to share something that we noticed and something that we wondered about this text. So I'd like to give Jamboard another try, and I changed a setting on it that I'm hoping will help. I know some of you had some trouble with the link and getting onto the Jamboard, but I think that I've fixed a setting, so I wanted to give it another try, and let me show you what to do. Okay, so when you click on the link that will take you to the Jamboard, it will look like this, and you'll see the question at the top. On the iPad, down here in this corner, there is a little plus sign, and I believe that you have to tap on that first, and then it will bring up the tools that you see over here. So we'll tap the add, the plus sign, and then we want to use the sticky note feature, and it will bring up the sticky note. So if you could just put your first name, last initial, and then you can share, you wondered, I noticed, blank, 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 and then you can change the color, like I said before, if you would like, and then you'll just hit save, and then it should put that on our board. Now, you may need to just move it around a little bit. I'll check them and see if there's any that have gone on top of each other, just so that we can all see each other's. But if you need to just, if it's like really big when you first create it, if you want to just use your finger and you can drag it to resize it, just like we do with our photos or pictures on Seesaw. And if you notice that your sticky note goes on top of someone else's, if you notice it and you can move it, I did put a second page on here so that if we run out of room on the first page, if you come up to the top where it says 1/2 and then you hit that little arrow, it will take you to the second page if we need room. Okay, but again, I encourage you to read what your classmates wondered and noticed about this text. Like I said, we can always learn from I learn from you, you learn from me, and we all learn from each other. So I always encourage you to check out your classmates' stuff as well, and questions and what they noticed. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the text. I can't wait to hear what you think about it, and I'll talk to everybody soon. Let me know if you have any questions, and if you're still having trouble with the Jamboard, feel free just to share through this Seesaw activity if you're having any trouble. All right, but I wanted to give it another try and see how it works. All right, thanks guys.